Hey love bugs, welcome back for another video. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Ashley and today we're going to be styling this beautiful lace wig courtesy of KlaiyiHair. Now I'm giving you a 360 look at what the wig looks like on my head straight out of the packaging. As you guys can see, she's 24 inches in length, HD lace, and the actual dimensions of the lace are 13 by 4, so you'll get 13 across and 4 inches going back. Here's a look at the inside construction of the cap. Very beautiful curly texture, and as you guys can see, that lace is going to be super poppin', but of course it's HD lace, but it does not match my complexion perfectly. The perfect solution for this is to go ahead and to just tint the lace. An easy solution that everyone can do from home is to add a foundation that is already your complexion and just buff it in the inside. That one came from Maybelline. Typically I'll use maybe 3 to 4 pumps for a modest look. This time around I really wanted that color to penetrate and show through, simply because some of the knots were not perfectly bleached, which you can see in the very beginning of this video. So I just wanted to make sure that everything looks good and you can't see a single knot. Again, I went in heavy, so I did blow dry it on a high hot setting to kind of pretty much set that product, but as you guys can see, it worked through. I'm not going to take a step to go in and clean that up, and you'll see in the very end that it's going to just naturally go away with the product, the bonding it down, like all the steps it takes to get this wig to where I need it to be. All of that extra or excess lace tint or foundation is just naturally going to disappear, if that makes any sense. So just bear with me. Our next step from there was to cut off the excess lace. Now, I would imagine that you would want to like tweeze out the hairline, but in this case you didn't need to, as you guys can see. And I was looking real raggedy. I had like 3 or 4 nails missing, so you know, I was like, man, I'm looking crazy in this video. Let's just pop them off. I do apres for myself at home, and the downside to apres is that once one starts popping off, they're like semi-permanent press-ons where they last a good while, but once they start popping off, they just start popping off. So for the install process, we're going to do a glueless install, pretty much using a how do you say it, a hairspray, a holding spray that has like a high, girl, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically a hairspray typically used when you're styling or curling your hair. This one has a super strong hold to it, usually like a firm hold, a volume hold, like a Sebastian's, got to be glued. A lot of them will work and actually melt your lace down, which I'm pretty sure you guys know by now, but I work in sections. I did the center section first, and then I'm going to do either side one at a time. Using a blow dryer on a cool setting to bond it down, this combination will make it stick to your head. And if you use an elastic band, like when you get in the shower and at bedtime, it'll actually stick down and last for maybe a good 2, possibly 3 days, with a little tiny touch up here and there. The wig is now bonded down, and I think it looks beautiful as like a flip over natural look. Now it's looking a little gray and ashy in the hairline. Again, don't worry about that. We're about to get rid of all of that now. I'm going to be styling the wig here on camera, and as you guys can see, I'm using my Nairobi mousse, no water at all. I'm also going to add a special product after this, and it's going to give that very defined, very shiny curl that has a tad bit of a crunch to it. And the reason I want the crunch is because this was kind of like not a protective style, it's not my real hair, but pretty much I really wanted this curl to last all week. The next morning I had oral surgery, and I wanted to be able to just go in and spray a little bit of water and be good to go, especially wearing my elastic band at night. So I wanted to have a supple amount of product in there that'll get me through the next couple of days, so I don't have to do much or any maintenance at all. You can use a dimming brush, but I'm just working it with my fingers, and I got minimal shedding. This one actually is very beautiful, and as you guys can see, a lot of that ash and craziness that was going on in the hairline is pretty much disappearing. And this is what it looks like with just the mousse, but I wanted just a little bit more definition, especially because I wasn't going to add a part. So this is that curl product that I was talking about that I paired with it. I did 1 pump on this side, 1 pump on the other side, and then I did another pump like at the crown of the head and like towards the back, so that everything was even. And when it dried, it just made it so that the hair stayed very like defined, and again, a little bit of a crunch to it, but if you don't like the crunch, you just add a little bit of water or a little bit of more mousse and it'll cancel out. Again, this one is a 13x4 lace wig, and this is what that 4 inches of parting look like. This is beautiful with the center part, but I just felt like I wanted a little bit more edge. So I'm going to add baby hair on both sides. I'm going to add sideburns and a little bit of baby hair up top. Super simple and easy, a very natural baby hair style, being sure to trim it down so that it's not too long and in the way. And I absolutely love the way this came out. As far as edge control goes, I love a good edge booster and edge tamer, and I love the way those products work. But for day to day, I like my baby hair to be a little bit more on the fluffy and not like gel down to my head look, especially when I'm wearing makeup. So I just use the same mousse I use to style my hair, and it works like a dream. It'll help to define the shape of the baby hair that I want. You can also add that elastic band on top once you pretty much define the baby hair and let that set, and that's going to make it super nice and pretty much take it to the next level. If I did not mention, check the description box for my coupon code. I believe it's KlaiyiYTB, and you'll enter that at checkout and you'll get money off of your purchase. Don't forget to use your coupon codes, guys. Every little bit counts. Anything you can save on definitely makes a huge difference. But again, I'm just going in and taking my time and just finding my way with this baby hair and seeing how I like it. I love how nice this hairline looks against my complexion, especially since I did tint the lace. Everything is beautiful. I love the way they pretty much plucked out the lace on this one, so I didn't have to do any of that myself. And as you guys can see, it's coming out super pretty. Okay guys, so this is the finished result. I kind of didn't know how I wanted to style it. I really wasn't feeling a part today. I don't know why. I just kind of wanted to just have some fun. More so focus on the hairline and keep the rest of the hair as is. Now this is some absolutely beautiful curly hair, so it didn't take much to install or actually style it. I did use my Nairobi, which you guys know I love to do just the Nairobi, but then I kind of wanted to add a little bit more hold to it, and just a little bit more of the sheen. I kind of feel like when you use a conditioner or like a cream product, you get more of that wet, shiny almost look that sometimes you don't get with the Nairobi. So I did add like maybe 3 pumps of this. What I like about this one is, first of all, I used to use this back in the day, but you just do 1 pump and it like that is just enough for each section. So I did this section with 1 pump, this section with 1 pump, then I took another one and kind of just went through the center, because you always want to make sure that back and of course the top has some product so it all matches. And I love the way it came out. Now, like I said before, it does have a little bit of a hold to it, but I kind of like that for a little bit of definition for the look that I am going for. And you guys can see that beautiful wave pattern there. For me, I just wanted to focus on a little bit of baby hair in the front, kind of keeping it natural in the center, and then just curls everywhere else. I didn't necessarily want to focus on, you know, having a defined part or anything like that. I just want to be able to go and kind of just flip it and let it fall where it may, and I love it. So as I mentioned, this one did come from Klaiyi, and I hope that I'm pronouncing this correct, because I have worked with this company a couple of times and they've never corrected me with their name. But as always, this is the packaging. They did include some wig caps in the box. Whenever you receive wig caps, if it's not your complexion, if it's too light, you obviously can buff a little bit of like your foundation or your powder on top of it, and that will make it match your complexion. And then they also did include like the bra strap style elastic band, so that's great to sew into the inside, and that will make the wig fit a little bit more snug and glueless, especially because sometimes it's hard when you purchase a wig. You don't know to get small, medium, large, if it's average or whatever the case may be. So if it's a little bit too big, you can add that in it, and it's going to make it fit a little bit more tight, especially so that it doesn't slide back if it's not bonded down. Now with this one also, the knots were not bleached, and you guys can see I added that foundation at the very beginning beginning to tint the lace, and it also kind of concealed a little bit and made everything match my complexion a little bit more. Of course, I can go in with a little bit of powder to, you know, add a little bit of more finesse to it. But of course, it's always best to bleach your knots if that is something that you are interested in doing. I will be doing an updated tutorial on how I bleach my knots. Again, I don't do it that often these days just because I switch my wigs out so often that, you know, sometimes I just don't feel the need to bother, especially with all the finesse I do with, you know, the powder and the concealer and all that. I kind of feel like that gets me through, because you guys know sometimes it looks better when you over bleach your knots. It looks better on the lace, but in pictures sometimes it ends up being orange, especially as the lace gets older. There's just a whole science to it to making it look like skin and look like the girls on Instagram. Sometimes it doesn't always come out like that, so I find that being able to manipulate it with my concealer and my powder makes sure that I don't end up with a super orange lace when I'm out in public, because literally I've taken pictures and thinking that my lace was amazing and then seeing it back in a picture and been mortified. So that pretty much was it for this one. This was a heatless install aside from the you know, blow dryer to bond the wig down. And again, you can make it glueless if you don't want to bond the wig down. That's always an option. I absolutely love the curl pattern on this one. If you have any questions, I'm pretty sure I answered it in the description box, so make sure you head there next to get a link to this wig, possibly a coupon code, as well as links to everything I used to complete this look. Also, while you're there, don't forget to hit that post notification button so you'll be notified every time I upload a video, as well as subscribe. I'm Ashley Bedeck if you are tuning in for the first time, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches!